What's up, guys? Welcome to the PyBites marketing training. Build it and they will come. Well, not exactly. I'm Bob Belderbos and I'm here with Julian Sequeira.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the training. This is especially dedicated to the people who responded and asked for this training. So thank you so much for taking the time to get back to us. We really want to make this packed full of value just for you. So let's get started.
First thing is own your career. Really go back and what do you want? What is your goal? We all heard of the 10,000 hour rule by Gladwell in his Outliers, but we really have to do a bit of reflection first. Where are we going to spend all that time? What we really want?
And this is one of the common pain points that we saw from your responses and from other people that we've met along the way, is that people sort of expect their career to, I guess, just take shape and happen. Or they don't even think about it, which is even worse, right? And probably the worst scenario is that they expect their manager to tell them what they're going to do for the rest of their career. You don't think in advance. You don't think long term in a way. You don't think where you want to go, and you expect the day-to-day with your manager and your team to be the thing that guides you on what you want to do. The reality is that you are in control of your career. No one else is going to do that for you. No one else is going to tell you where you need to go. At the end of the day, the company that you might be working for, whatever it is you're doing, their best interest is to have you working. And it doesn't matter what you want to do in your life. As long as you're performing in your job, they're happy. So this is up to you. Really give it some thought. Your goal is your goal. No one else can make that goal for you. It is yours. It is up to you. And it's one of those power of choice things. This is one of the things that you will decide for the rest of your life. So you really give it some thought, sit down and think about it. You need to know what it is that you want out of your career, something you love to do, something that interests you, something that you're almost passionate about, but it's something that you can actually do and make a career out of. So give it some thought.
And be specific, because if you just say, I want to be a Python rock star, Python is used in a lot of areas, web development, data, DevOps. So make that more specific. And again, it's insidious stuff because we all get caught up in our work, in our daily tasks of the job or freelance, whatever you do. But you just have to step back and look at the long-term goal. Where do you want to be? And then you can start to move into that direction because it will take time.
Exactly. All right. Now, become more proactive. And this is very closely tailored to that last pillar there. This one, with becoming more proactive, it's more about your action. What action are you taking? What can you do today? So your goal was thinking long term, but now being proactive is thinking about short term. What are you going to do now to help you get to where you want to be? So again, this is where people fall into a trap of waiting for someone to tell them what to do. No, never wait. You need to take that control and you need to make some decisions about what you can do some research, dive deep and really think about what you can do now to help you get you where you want to be.
Yeah, and one example could be in your current job, start looking for ways to add more value. Because at the end of the day, if you add value, you build up expertise, you build up goodwill, and it's very weird it would be if you would then not be considered for promotions or new opportunities. So see what you can do in your current role first. Become very good at it, and new opportunities will open.
And the best way that you can actually do this is to anticipate what your stakeholders want. So your stakeholders might be your customers, they might be your manager, they might be your teammates, whoever it might be. When you're about to do something, think about how it's going to affect everyone, not just yourself or the project that you're working on, but think about what they want. Therefore, when you go into these meetings, when you go to talk to these people about your project or present an idea, you've already anticipated their needs and their wants, and then when you talk to them, you already have an answer. And that is going to make you look spectacular. And it's going to earn some trust with your manager, with your stakeholders, and you're going to be able to do bigger and better things. The key is to really provide that value by anticipating what they want.
Do you want to give some examples?
Sure. So one such example would be in one of the jobs that I've had over the years. I won't go into too much detail on who and when. There was someone who was leaving. Someone was leaving the team. And one of the things they didn't consider was the wide-ranging impact that would happen when that person left and this specific project that they looked after was no longer maintained. So by calling that out, by anticipating the lack of support that our customers were going to face as a result of this individual leaving, I was able to have meetings, I was able to present, and I was able to talk with people about that exact problem. And they hadn't really considered it, that it was going to be a problem, and I was able to educate them on exactly what the impact would be. And as a result, things got taken care of, and there was pretty much no impact to the customer base for that project. And that earned me a fair bit of goodwill with the company and with my manager.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, I have an example here where I nourished a contact with another department for a long time, and that eventually led to a cool Python project with global company visibility. But it all started from, having that contact years ago and keep in touch. And, it was a pretty influential contact. So I just kept in touch like every month or so, and an opportunity came up, a tool they needed. It's all about adding value and see what the stakeholders really need. And I could build it in Python, and one thing leads to the other. But it all starts with networking, and I think we're going to deal with that on the next slide.
We'll get to that in a minute. That was a great example, by the way, and way to marry the two pillars together, man. I love it. Before we move on, I'll quickly touch on this last point. Push yourself out of your comfort zone as well. Ask for tasks that require more responsibility. It could be something out of the scope of your role. It could be just additional responsibility to what you already take care of, but push the boundaries. There is nothing wrong with asking for more. It's always impressive for managers to see that. It's also a wake-up call to the people around you that here is someone who wants more. They're hungry. They want to do more. They want more responsibility. They want to perform, and they want to overachieve. And it's an amazing thing. And that enthusiasm and passion will earn you spades of respect and trust, and will help you get to more of a senior position.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, all this stuff is not going to happen you laying back, being comfortable, right? This requires a certain discipline to step out of your comfort zone, where we always say where the growth is. So let me ask you, Julian, when was the last time you got uncomfortable with your work?
Oh, every day, pretty much, at the moment. Got to try for at least once a week, right?
Once a week, we always say, right? Yeah. For me, it was literally yesterday. I'm not going to go into much detail, but I was a bit nervous about something, but then I came out stronger, and
You were sweating.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
That's all right. You got through it, man, and it feels so much better on the other side. Even if you get shot down, it just feels so good on the other side to know you pushed, you asked, and they notice. They will notice.
That gets noticed. Yeah, that's the thing. Those are usually things that are not so much related to coding, but more with leadership skills, and that really gets you higher up the rank.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on. We could talk about that for hours. So, as with what you hinted at before, Bob, you need to grow that network. You need to inspire people. You need to reach out to people. So, where is the best place to do that?
We found a couple of things. So when it comes to social, LinkedIn and Twitter is really where the career and technical people are. So those are networks you want to hop on and connect to people and push content. And when it comes to content, of course, you should have your blog and your GitHub. People need to see what you can do, right? You can be brilliant, but if you're not constantly putting your work out for display, it almost doesn't exist.
Exactly. And, the beauty of LinkedIn is when you go to connect with someone, you can send them a custom message, almost like an introductory message at the same time. And it's fantastic. It's a great way of just leaving your first impression without that face-to-face. So here's an example. If you're a student listening to this, you could essentially reach out to someone in a field that inspires you and just tell them that. Say, hey, Bob, you are an amazing Python programmer. I've seen you on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Just thought I'd connect because I'm learning Python in my computer science degree. And I'd love to just follow you and see what's up. And you will have success with a line like that. I can't imagine a single person not accepting that request. And if you do that enough, you build up that profile, builds up your profile in that network of Python, because you are then therefore connected with all of these Pythonistas, right? And that's a wonderful way to build up that profile, build up that network.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. What if it's like a super well-established Pythonista and you're just scared to reach out?
Well, you just do it. Doesn't matter if you're scared. This is the thing that people need to remember is we all put our pants on the same way. We all wake up in the morning, hate Mondays, and, some of us have kids, and our kids don't care who we are. They don't care what we do. So it's a nice reminder that you are just like the person next to you. So there is nothing wrong with reaching out to someone. And at the end of the day, it actually makes them feel good. To have someone reach out to them and say, you inspire me, will make them feel good. And it's probably something that they need to hear. You'd be surprised how often people in those positions don't hear that because people are too afraid to reach out to them.
Yep. Leaders need to have lunches as well and bio breaks.
Yeah, especially the bio breaks.
But don't just reach out like, hey, you're great. That's not going to work. There needs to be some sort of value in your message. So do your homework and try to contribute something to the conversation. And then people will open up. These experts have been newbies at some point as well. So they really will be appreciative about it, but try to add some value to the conversation.
Exactly. And that leads into this next point perfectly. So reaching out to people in your workplace, cross department or in senior roles, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're people as well. Now the catch is they're busy people. And this is what some of your responses said, is that you're afraid of reaching out to people who seem super busy all the time. Well, that's okay. They're busy. That's fine. But they check their email and they need to respond to people. So what I would encourage you to do is reach out to these people. Don't expect them to stop what they're doing and talk to you at that moment. If you go up to the desk, for example, you can politely interrupt them, just say, excuse me, and then just say, look, I am in this role. I love what you do. When you have some time, could we chat? You could also say something like, can I get your calendar and add an event in?
Yeah, but again, don't just ask one, hey, can you be my mentor? That's not going to work. That will be annoying. So try to see what those folks are up to and provide them with some value, some context, so you make it worth their while as well.
So if I came up to you and said, hey, Bob, can you mentor me, please? What sort of response would you expect someone to give back to that? What would you say?
I would be skeptical about that person because I don't get any specifics, but, I probably would dig into why you're learning Python. What do you want to achieve with Python? What have you done so far? Where are you struggling? Why did you reach out to me? So all those clarification questions probably mean that that person needs to profile himself or herself better.
Mm-hmm. And the frustration there, from the sounds of it, is that takes time to do. So for you to have to drop what you're doing to come back and respond to this person, the person reaching out is already losing that trust. They're already losing that credibility because they've just reached out cold without any self-reflection or research or anything like that. So these are the things you have to consider if you're going to reach out to people for support, for mentoring, for anything like that. Do your research, be polite, respect their time. But when you do that, people will absolutely love to talk with you.
To make it more specific with another example, like what would be the opposite case, right? So guy or girl comes in, like, I opened a pull request on your blog to fix a couple of dead links. Being proactive, I fixed something on your blog. Here's the pull request. You just have to merge it in. So A, they did their homework. They went out to our stuff. B, they were proactive, fixing something. So it added value for us. And C, well, I can just click merge and all done. Look at how different that is in terms of reaching out to somebody.
And that person's earned your trust. You'd be happy for them to do it again. So
yeah,
beautiful.
Wow.
So speaking of blog, the next thing about growing your network every day is to build up that portfolio. So one of the ways we recommend people do this, especially in the Python world, is to create a blog. So blog about the work that you're doing, blog about, well, if you can, blog about the stuff that you're learning, and build up that GitHub profile as well. So get your code on there for people to see. These are the opportunities that you will generate for yourself by putting that data out there. So when you have a fully fledged GitHub profile with content on there that people can see, and a blog perhaps with your posts and your ramblings on Python and whatever, suddenly you are much more of an attractive Python developer than people who don't.
It's a huge asset. Blogs are not outdated. Google still indexes them and brings people to your site. And we always say GitHub is a developer's resume.
Exactly. All right, so we'll move on. Here's some homework. There wouldn't be one of these videos without some homework. So very simple, but very deep. Okay, so simple in theory, but it's going to take some time for you to sit down here. Number one, as we touched on, set that career goal. So sit down, close your eyes, and just think. What do you actually want out of your career? Is what you're doing now actually what you want to do for the rest of your life? Forget things that are going on with your manager and your team and whatever else. That's all immediate stuff. In 5 years from now, your life could be completely different. So think about what it is you want out of your career and write that down. Maybe even print it out or something and stick it on the wall next to you.
Yeah, if you want to be a data scientist or you want to be a web developer, the path is not the same. So you need to have clarity up front. Secondly, as we said in the last slide, regularly push content to your blog, social, and GitHub. That will take time. Be patient. Your first post will get 1 or 0 likes. You will hope that your mother will like your post. That's pretty, it takes time. It takes consistency, but you will build up your asset. Again, Google indexes your stuff. People will follow you on Twitter. People will connect with you on LinkedIn. And you never know where the next opportunity comes from. So Julie and myself always talk about, we plant all those seeds and over time, some of them will flourish. A lot of them, nothing will happen, but one of them can be a major opportunity. And we had that both happen for us at work with PyBytes. And it's all about building up your asset with a lot of consistent tiny pieces.
Yep. And number 3, so that tied into that, is reach out to 3 to 5 people. Do it over the next week, but get out of your comfort zone and reach out to these people. So a really quick idea for you is you've set your career goal in your homework step 1. Number 3, now take that goal and go to your manager. Talk to your manager, if you happen to be in a role with a manager, of course, and let them know what's your career goal. Tell them, look, boss, one day I'm going to be doing this sort of stuff. This is the track I want to be on to get there. How can you help me get there? So you set the pace here. You set the expectation. This is what I want out of my career. You're assertive. You're sure about it. And then you just ask them for support.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only is there not really anything to lose, because to any request one can say no, or you simply get it, but you also set yourself apart as a leader, as somebody that really knows what he wants. That's the top 5%.
You're exactly right. And the best part of that is you never know how they can actually help you. Unless you know that your manager, in and out, they might have some contacts that might be able to help you on this career goal. I've done that for the people that reported to me. I had plenty of contacts that could help them with their career path, at least give them some guidance that I couldn't. And this is a wonderful thing. I wouldn't have known that unless they spoke to me about it. So this is really important. Speak to your manager about your career goals. And some other ideas for people to reach out to, if you are a freelancer, someone who isn't working in that traditional way, reach out to your perfect client. Go out on LinkedIn, go on Twitter, and talk to people who are doing things that you want to be able to support them with. And just reach out. Can't hurt at all, So plenty of opportunities here. Reach out to people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, by email, whatever, and just say hello, show some interest in what they're doing, and really try and build a relationship.
Yeah, as you start posting on LinkedIn, people will comment, and just add them, connect with them, and start a conversation. Never know what can happen.
Too right. So, stuck. If you are stuck, we love to help. I mean, clearly, after you've listened to us waffle on now for about 20 minutes, we love this stuff. We live and breathe what we are teaching here, and we want nothing more than to help you and anyone else that's struggling with these kinds of issues. So clicking on that link, you'll be able to book a call with myself or Bob, and we'll be able to talk to you on the phone. And we just want to know what your pain is. We want to help you through that. And honestly, we find absolute pleasure out of helping people. So if you want additional help, if you want some a bit of coaching as well on this, then please book a call and get us on the phone.
Yeah, we have people currently going through the program, and they have achieved amazing things, not only with their Python, but more importantly, I would say, with their marketing skills. They're all brilliant Pythonistas, usually, but the big issue usually is like raising that awareness and getting ahead in one's career due to the lack of marketing skills.
All right, so on that note, here's a book for you to read.
So Good They Can't Ignore You. That book really blew me away. Being proactive. It talks about a lot of stuff we discussed. And yeah, it's a great, inspiring read. It also debunks the myth that you have to follow your passion. You have to be a bit more scientific than just following your heart. And we hope our training made that clear.
Yeah, the idea here is that, you have a passion, but if you don't have the skills to back it up, well, what's the point, right? How are you going to make that a career or something that sustains you and your family? So have a read of this book. So Good They Can't Ignore You. It's one of our favorites, and we absolutely wholeheartedly recommend that you read that. We're not affiliated with Cal Newport in any way, just saying. We just love his stuff.
Yeah, we also love his deep work, but that's another discussion. No, it has great stories about people adding more value in the workplace and how that led to more opportunities, more flexibility, more pay, etc. All the good stuff. At the end of the day, what we really want, right?
Exactly right. So, team, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you watching this training. We want to help you. So, again, go back and get us on a call and get that homework done. We want to hear from you. Respond to our email, Twitter, whatever else. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear what sort of action you took and the results you got out of it. So other than that, enjoy and thank you so much.
Don't forget to add us on LinkedIn.
There's your homework done. Bang. All right. Thanks, Bob.
All right. Thanks, Julie.